Peace, everyone. Peace, everyone. Peace, everyone. Is this thing tripping again? Peace, everyone. It ain't doing okay. Check. Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to this Google Hangout. I'm your host, Carl Lambert, and you have now entered into our Hangout. Peaceful Sabbath. That's what it is. Y'all see the title. All eyes on New York City and their Chester problems. Not problems. I woke up about 2 o'clock last night, and as I'm subscribed to Hassan Camel page, I seen that he was on. I went over there to check out what he was talking about. Slave Fighting Slaves is the title that I ran into. Well, I would like to say first, I'm not a slave. I'm a servant of the Most High, but I'm not a slave. It's no man. You know, in no shape, form, or fashion, whether if it's voluntary or involuntary. I own my own mind. No one owns it. I own it. So, I'm not a slave fighting no other slave. I'm not a black committing black on black crime. Some will call me a black or label me black, and I don't have no problem with the term, but I don't label myself that nor call myself that anymore. I call myself an Israelite or just Israel. So therefore, I'm not committing no black on black nothing. So I don't fall under those statistics or categories. I am not brother. I'm not a brother to the wicked. We don't have the same father. So I'm not fighting with my brother. And seeing that we not the same kind because we don't come from the same father, I would say you're not even my people. In the sense that my people, those are my nation, those are my stock. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say that first for anybody that watched that video or anybody that will watch this video. You know, and wonder and go over there and watch that video, hopefully before YouTube strike his page, take it down or whatever for the comments he made last night. So, like I said, I went over there to watch his page, and he was talking about slaves fighting slaves. And this is a theme, a narrative that people trying to push that at the end of the day, you don't see, quote unquote, us going against the white man. Well, number one, as some people live their lives in a 2-block radius, and when they leave out, they either going to school or they don't leave out. You know, I done stayed in cities, I done stayed in projects, and people don't really leave the circumference of the projects. You know what I'm saying? Some people on the west side of Chicago never, ever really go to the north side, or rarely ever go to the south side, and vice versa. Now, it's some that's universal in the city, and they go wherever they want, when they want, how they want, and they move the way they want. But some people, because of the street organization ties and stuff, they don't go certain places in the city, or they don't move like that. So when you live like that, then most of the people that's around you are your complexion besides the store owners. So most of the people that's doing harm to you, robbing from you, stealing from you, touching your children on some Chester, so on and so forth, look just like you and a part of your neighborhood, a part of your family, your next door neighbor and everything else. So them are the ones you most likely gonna fight with and deal with before anybody. Same way as growing up. The first people you fought was those people in your family. Y'all fought over that little Tonka truck or Barbie doll or whatever it was that was around. You was messing with your sister or your cousin or somebody, Legos or something, the toys, and you hollered off and hit them. Pow! Leave my stuff alone. They hit you. First people you gonna fight with is your own people in the sense of the word, or those that's closest in proximity to you. So all this crying about, well, why you look, I don't watch white folks channels. That's just something I don't do. Now, why you gonna ask me, well, why you ain't over there watching the white folks channels to commentate on what they saying? Because I don't watch white folks. Ain't much they can tell me or teach me about nothing. You see what I'm saying? I watch black folks to see what's going on around the hood, the community, the city, the state, the town, or whatever. What's going on in quote unquote Black America? Though I don't claim to be black, Black America is where I reside and who I deal with, those that identify as black. A good majority of them, where they identify as something else. But it's still the mass majority of the world call us the black people, the Negro, the color, the African American, and blah, blah, blah. Coons and everything else. Jigaboos and everything. So that's what I want to address first. And no, I'm not from New York City, never been to New York City. But I know that there's babies up in New York City that need protecting, just like there's babies everywhere in the world that need protecting from the Chester mindset. The mindset, even if they're not doing, the mindset is dangerous. Your male genitals don't have to work for you to be trying to do something to a child. Rape, molest a child. So let's talk about this. I actually want to play the audio from last night. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it, right? Just to let y'all hear this. Now I went on a flagging campaign and was like, people, flag this channel. And I went flagged it. I flagged about 4 or 5 times, and a couple people that said they done flagged it. But they ain't gonna take it down. I think he's showing that he has some power with people in high places, YouTube and stuff, and they're not gonna flag his channel. They're not gonna take his stuff down. Because I done went to sleep and woke back up 3-4 hours later, and my channel went down because of flags. So I will be surprised if they take it down, but they not, because I'm finna pull it up now. Motherfucking son. Look. So now, he have a problem with YouTuber by the name of Kev Gills. Now, he speak very sexually of their relationship and the relationship he done had with other YouTubers that he been dealing with. He said he let people into his intimacy, which is a very, very intimate thing. No matter how you mean it. The word itself implies something very tight knit and very close into his bosom. Now, we know a lot of people say, well, Jesus was gay. Somebody had their head on his bosom and all of this and everything else. We know how people do the gay homo talk and stuff with just the Bible and different stuff and everything. All right. Enough of that. But anyway, he's saying he let men. Now, the first time he did this, he was talking about the sister Tawana Allen. Somewhat could be understandable. I let you into my intimacy. Somewhat understandable. Still very sexual in nature. And it's like, intimacy. That's a very powerful word. You know, the context of it, it's just one of them words. Right? But it was understandable with a woman. Now he pushed it as he didn't let men into his intimacy. Now, this is disturbing to a person like me. It just sounds like some freaky deaky stuff now. You letting people into your intimacy and how deep and all of that is jokes I've been making about it. So now, I'm up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm tuned into the man page. I'm subscribed to it. So then I go to see what he's talking about. And I'm hearing stuff like this.
Him later on. I'ma act like I'm about your cause. And cause you ain't no victim. You ain't no victim.
Now, this is the problem here. As y'all know, I'm a fair man. Shout out to New York City. What's up? Y'all got a Chester problem, man. Y'all got a Chester problem. And it's with some of y'all bigots named DJs, rappers, YouTube celebs, and everything. Y'all to be ashamed of y'allself as a city. Because if the police is not taking care of these people, the so-called streets of New York, from what her son been saying, was supposed to put a grip on this. To quote her son Camel, as he done called for all the gangs, all the National Guard, the military, the police, and everybody to help him, quote unquote, take care of this situation. Right? Just being nosy right quick. I know. Nigga hollering in the springtime. Like I don't know what time it is. But anyway. So that's what he said. When you have a dog running around biting people, you have to put them asleep. Now, he raised dogs. He always talking about the breeding of dogs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we understand what he mean by what a dog is. And when they out of hand doing stuff they have no business doing, you should lay them down. Right? All right. So now you got a problem with Kev Gill. Now, me being the man I am, like I said, being fair, I told him from the jump, Kev Gill ain't got no love for you, man. Not knowing if he did or didn't. But as we all know, I've been into it with certain parties and stuff over this internet. Right? So me and Kev done been into it before. You know, he be playing the audio where I called him a female dog. The first show I ever did about him, I was trying to warn him about Michael Ellis. The next show, me and him got into it. I called him a female dog out the gate, and said that's how I thought of him in the way he was acting. Now, y'all know I've been on this show a couple times this week. It is what it is, right? So Hassan got a problem with Kev letting me on the show, number one. And then what he's been saying about him, because Kev basically on my narrative now, when at first he was his friend and they was talking, and I guess he was all up in his intimacy and everything. But I told him Kev ain't got no love for you, because if Kev had some love for you, he would have told you not that one, Hassan. You leave that brother alone. He ain't got no sense when it comes to this YouTube stuff. He got YouTube bodies. And I'm going to just say that to piss Hassan off, because I'm bodying this Negro, right? He catch YouTube bodies. On these YouTube streets, he got a lot of bodies. You know what I'm saying? Some has left YouTube and ain't came back, and some of them got severely wounded, but they still here. But just like any real streets, because we speaking fictional now, we speaking, figuratively, like the real streets, if somebody beat your butt just right, or they come and shoot you up to the point where you laying there and they could put one in your head and just take you out, and they say, look, I'm gonna give you your life, but don't you ever mess with me or come at me again, or I'm gonna finish you the next time. Right? That person will be lucky to get away with their life. And if they were smart, they wouldn't mess with you no more. Now, you taking a chance when you let an enemy live like that. Because some people crazy enough to say, nah, I'm going to get my vengeance. Not knowing that the same thing is waiting for them, but this time it's the one to the dome and it's over with. One to the head. Now, you know he did. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So, I done got my YouTube bodies. I body bag them. If I don't body bag them, I cripple them. I'm known on these YouTube streets for that. I don't care to be known on the streets for that. If I have to kill somebody on the street, I don't want nobody to know that I killed them. I don't want no evidence. I don't want no nothing, and I ain't gonna go tell on myself. So if I have or if I have not, you will never know. Because that ain't nothing to brag about. It ain't nothing you want to be known. Why? Because rule number one, if you going to court all the time for shooting people, or you done been locked up and stuff for killing people, when somebody kill you, they gonna say he had it coming to him because he lived that type of lifestyle. So that ain't nothing to go bragging about, that you a gunslinger and gun buster and all of that stuff. If you are, you don't want it to be known. You want to be known as the meekest, scariest individual that ever walked the earth. It's to protect you. But niggas out here want to brag about, oh, I get it in and I do all of this. Yeah, and I'm afraid of people that get it in and do all of that, because that's not my life. I need to protect myself from people like that. I'm a scary individual. I get shaky when I hear a car backfire. I don't like the sounds of guns. It's my story. So that ain't something you go around and brag about. If you a G, you a killer, and you done put that work in, and the people recognize and understand and comprehend that what's understood need not be spoken. So never will you catch me on these YouTube streets, any streets, trying to brag about I'm big bad gun buster. No. I only bust a gun in self-defense. And that's if I have a gun to bust it. Never had to do it. Never had to do it. And I pray to God I don't. Because I believe in taking a shot. I don't believe in shooting. I believe in taking a shot. I don't believe in shooting. Shooting is random. Taking a shot is, oh, I missed by that much. I need to ease. But I don't know nothing about guns. What I'm talking about. I only see that shit in the video games and the movies. I'm a joystick nigga. I have fun and enjoy behind computers and stuff like that. I don't know nothing about no streets. So he got a problem with Kev Gill. This is what he say.
Well, I tell you what. Let me find your motherfucking son.
Let me find your motherfucking son, is what he say.
Right? Let me find your son or your daughter.
Or your daughter. He don't care, son or daughter. He don't care. He ain't caring. Your son or your daughter. Now, what do this suggest to y'all? What man would say he will find your son and sexually abuse your son? I ain't sexually abusing nobody. But you gonna find a little boy and sexually abuse the little boy. Now, I guess he's trying to say this is hypothetical. And I'm just saying. But never do you put yourself in the shoes of a pedophile, right? And if you do, why you pick the son as well as the daughter, unless you do boys and girls or men and women? It just don't make no sense. It just don't make no sense. Number one, New York City. Do this make any sense to you? Holler at me. And yes, it sounds like Star. But Lee Star said he was going to do a little girl. Which is terrible. That's one of the problems that y'all have up there in New York City, New Jersey, wherever Star is right now. Star from the Star Chamber, Star in the Morning, Troy Terrain spoke these same exact type words to DJ Envy. Power 105, The Breakfast Club. He spoke these same exact words that he will molest his daughter and piss on her as if he was R. Kelly. Now, we know his son to hate R. Kelly, talk bad about him. But radio personality DJ, who still is loved and is admired to this day. He went from his own YouTube thing into everyday struggle with DJ Academic and the sister Nahespi or something like that. Nahesi or whatever her name. Took Joe Budden's spot. He spoke these words. He's like a mentor to her son. He say whatever her son do, he backs it, giving him the heart to do what he do, giving him half of his audience to do what he do. And you know his audience don't care because his audience didn't heard him do it in New York City. They don't care if her son do and say this because they heard Star do and say it and didn't say nothing. But her son turns it up to a notch till he want the boy or the girl. It don't matter. He go both ways with his molestation or his example or whatever his, you know, whatever he's trying to say this is. However he gonna try to explain this to people. Like he said about my mother. You know, when people get mad, they say anything. You know what I'm saying? I would let the dead woman, I would help her across the street, knowing she dead. How you gonna help a dead woman across the street? How you gonna help a dead woman across the street, her son? I will help her across the street. I will move over on the bus and let her sit down. You gonna let a dead woman sit down on the bus, her son? You know my mother's dead if you're talking about digging her up and shitting on her grave and stuff, right? Obviously, she's dead. So how you talking about if I saw his mother, what the hell you would do for her? At best, you could put flowers on her grave, nigga. At best. But you want to dig up and shit on her grave and do all of that, you say. So it ain't no helping her across the street. It ain't no getting out your seat to give her a seat or nothing that. So don't play that. It's just you trying to talk about my mother on the low and get my attention. I understand, Negro. I truly understand. Comprehend. Maybe these other people slow, but I got you, son. I understand. Now, listen, he said, boy or girl, it don't matter. He gonna take the young child, male or female, it don't matter to him. He do any one of them.
And let me catch them at 12 years old. And when I stick heavy dick.
When he do what?
Right? Let me find your son or your daughter and let me catch them at 12 years old. And when I stick heavy dick in that little 12, 13-year-old little bitch, just understand she ain't a victim.
Now, he said more. If they don't delete it, you can go over there and listen to it. I ain't gonna play no more. You can say, oh, Carl, you cut the sound bite and you manipulated the audio. I'm not gonna play no more of the audio. I just need enough to demonstrate what I heard. That made me say, oh, hell no. And it's even more. It's even more. It's even more, people. Now, we mentioned the Star Chamber. Well, let's talk about who he called his father, Africa Bambaataa. Bronx River, New York, stand up. Bronx River let this man, allegedly, which I believe he did it, but allegedly, run around for 40 years, 40 plus years. Grabbing generations of young boys from families. The eldest son to the second eldest to the third eldest to whatever. Generations of whole sons. Let her son sell it to you, tell you. Molesting them. Oldest brother to the brother in the middle to the youngest brother. 40 years. Being Chester and Bronx River. Got them skipping school. You could come over, smoke weed, do all this stuff, drink. He said Bambaataa didn't give you the drugs, but you say you went to Bambaataa house. People skip school, go over there, drink and smoke instead of being on the street. As you said, a young man, when you came out with your other theory, the young man went over there and had a little too much of what he had in his own pocket. Bam didn't give it to him, but he didn't stop people from coming doing drugs and getting high, falling out, and him raping them. Based up on his made up narrative and theory of the young man that got date raped and stabbed Bambaataa and unmanned Hillis. So now, that's his father. Troy Terrain Star is his mentor. We got some sick puppies here. Gonna turn out to be some sick dogs. And what do you do to sick puppies and dogs, son? New York City, what it is. How y'all gonna let the Chester culture thrive in New York City like that? Then you got Tekashi 6ix9ine. He put up a video on Instagram. Half-naked girl, 13. Paperwork said he admitting to it. He agree. Okay, yeah, I did the shit. Light sentence or whatever. Her son's supposed to be fighting against that. But yet he's talking about finding some little young 12-year-old boy, a 12-year-old girl, and giving them heavy whatever that was he said. But he's supposed to be fighting against that mentality. That's why he never fought against Star. Well, Star, and he make excuses for Star. Troy Terrain, you know, who got the second chair on Everyday Struggle. Birds of a feather flock together. New York City, you got a Chester problem on your hand. Like I said, I'm not a street dude like that or whatever. But if you had individuals running around messing with the children like that, in any society, any community or whatever, just like Freddy Krueger, only movie ever scared me in my life, and I didn't even know it was about pedophilia and that stuff till I got older. Then I said, "Oh, that was that. What that was that movie about?" Yep, that's what that movie was about. The parents burnt Freddy, and then he became a part of the nightmares of their children. But I didn't know it was a pedophile movie about a pedophile named Freddy Krueger that worked at an orphanage on Elm Street. Not an orphanage, but a daycare. At least that's in part. That's in the remake of it. So it had to be somewhat based off of the first story. So I watched all the Freddys, but I can't even remember. I guess I blocked them out of my mind except the first one. Though I watched all the rest of them, I don't know the storyline like that. So, but when I watched the new one, just to see if it was scary like the first one, or it was anything like the first one, that was the storyline. Chester, epidemic in the black community. In New York City, got famous big name Chesters running around, talking about it or actually doing it. New York City, y'all got a problem. All them down low undercover homo thugs from Mr. C's to, you know, just so on and so forth. Now, the only reason we really know and hear a lot about that, why? Because yes, New York City is a major metropolitan area. So therefore, things that happen up there and some of the individuals up there are big names and carry high positions. But I don't hear this problem with big name celebrities, this and that, everywhere else. Though we know pedophiles market the sons and daughters of America to people and allow that thing to go on. So it's going on everywhere. But when you have reported issues of this, and you have someone that the community has embraced that's supposed to fight against this, supposed to be an advocate against it, and then he's hypothetically putting himself in a position of raping a young boy and feeding them heavy manhood, or a young lady, heavy manhood, he say. Remember, they not a victim, is what he say. Because he said he was molested, and people said he wasn't a victim. Now, he said Bambaataa never fed him heavy nothing. Just went down on him. So what makes him conjure up these thoughts in his mind of feeding something to some children? Like when he watched that porn, that child porn, and came back and said that man was feeding that child. And she was a professional because she was like, move your hands, I know what I'm doing. I got this, is what he said. People, this is one sick guy. And they flagged my channels for what? And said my stuff is hate speech. This might get flagged and called as hate speech or sexual this, that, and the other. But I know myself, I didn't flag this stuff about 4 times since it's been up since 2 this morning. And other people didn't flagged it as they didn't see it. Yet that video is still up. And it's more on that than just that. So anytime they turn it on and start listening to it, they're going to hear that type of talk and talk of killing people and stuff. But yet, I can get flagged and be down in 3 to 4 hours. 2 this morning to 11 now. How much time is that? And that mess is still up. That sickness is still up. But I just make a video and say, well, people trying to be like me and talk about Sarnetta. And yet my video goes down and deemed as hate speech. That's hate speech against babies there. But that's it, people. I guess when you get mad and say something over YouTube, that YouTube and all the people on YouTube just accept it as, oh, he was mad so he could say those type of things. It's all right for him to put that out in the public and not say, oh, well, at least those that heard me last night heard it. Let me take it down. No, he has the nerve to keep it up to say, you can't flag it. And if you do flag it, I don't care. I still wanted to see it, and I wanted to portray what I wanted to portray and say what I wanted to say. Nah. The hell with y'all. So I don't know what it is. New York City. This man is in y'all backyard. If you ask me, the way he talked, the way he watched that video and described what was happening to that young girl and how he wanted to, or how he, if he did rape a 12-year-old boy, 12-year-old girl, what he would do to him, I think you're dealing with a child predator here. He said he been in child orgies and then had sex with multiple people as a child. And his brain is messed up. And none of his mentors or, you know what I'm saying, YouTube friends or, you know, media friends would suggest for him to get off YouTube and suggest for him to stop doing those type of things on here. Birds of a feather flock together. That's all I'm going to say. Sad day when a guy like that let you into his intimacy and you feel like you don't want to come up out of his intimacy. I'm going to say peace, y'all.